are feelings? What do they tell you? Hello and welcome to Titanium Taras Tarot, and today I will be doing another insight, okay? Today's insight is all about listening to your feelings. Now, I am aware of the fact that that might be a little counterintuitive, especially in this day and age. But when I say listening to your feelings, I'm not saying do what your feelings tell you. No. I say that whatever you are in front of, just pay attention to how it makes you feel. Do you feel good? Do you feel bad? Do you feel sad? Do you feel anxious? What is it? And usually that feeling inside of you is an indicator of where you are, how ready you are, and how excited you are in jumping into this new chapter or this route or whatever it is. But generally, how good you feel is an indication of how close you are to your source, to your soul, to what drives you, what makes you happy, and you should go more towards that. And when you don't feel so good, you generally know that that is something you need to stay away from, or it's something you need to pivot and reevaluate. Because generally, confirmation with the honk, I don't know if you hear it, which is still going. Still going. That's an angry truck driver. In any case. Anyway. It's honking again. So your feelings are indicators of how good what you're about to embark upon is going to make you feel. And if you don't feel so good and you're like, I don't know, like, it makes me feel awkward and weird and unsafe, generally that's a sign of you not feeling prepared. And if you don't feel prepared, that's just a sign that all you need to do is shift your mentality, because any feeling, it has two sides to it. It has two extremes, okay? And one extreme can be happy, the other will be sadness. But it will generally be a similar sensation, but of a different varying degree. So let's say you feel anxious. Okay, and this is something that I started realizing last week. Okay, after I went to my esthetician, she gave me a perspective I had not thought of, right? Because when you feel anxious, it's also the same emotion or the same degree. It's the opposite end of of excitement. Anxiousness is at the opposite end of excitement. So, and you can pivot your way of seeing it and your way of experiencing it. So when you feel anxious, you can pivot and say, hey, it's not anxiety that I'm feeling excited. But this is, like I said, it's a different varying degree of excitement, right? Because they're at opposite ends of the spectrum. So this excitement is not because of it's going to be easy, it's going to be hard. But generally what that means is that you are being called to a new timeline, or you're going to embark upon a new timeline. And this is just saying this new timeline is new. And so you are going to have to change, do things differently. As I said, pivot, right? You are not going to be able to stay the same and do what you've done, or stay the same and do what you want to do. So you're definitely being called to change and improve. So whenever you feel anxious, because if you feel like, for example, at some point last week, and it's been on and off for a while now, I felt anxious, and I didn't know why. But due to my meeting my coach says it all the time, but for some reason it was different hearing it from my esthetician, or different perspective. I was different. Confirmation with the honk again. So I was different in hearing it, and it allowed me to see different things. Now, generally, when this happens, it's a sign that you have had enough lessons, or you have learned enough in your lifetime up to that point for you to finally clearly understand what is being said, if that makes sense, right? So ultimately, this new timeline that you are being called towards, that you are being beckoned to, is finally entering in your life. And if you feel anxious, that's just because you don't know how you're going to get there. You want it, but you don't know how you're going to make it happen. And so you're anxious because you don't know what's going to come. We don't necessarily like surprises and all that jazz. But if you pivot your way of seeing it and be like, oh, okay, so this is what I'm working towards, and it is going to take the time that it takes, but I'm definitely getting there. And this anxiety is not so much of a bad thing as much as it is a sign that I'm moving in the right direction. Because if you didn't necessarily want to move in that direction, you wouldn't even allow for that feeling to even be in you, or for you to feel it. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it does. If not, ask questions and it'll be my pleasure to answer. So let me just recap a little. So this is important. This would be important for people who generally have who have difficulty dealing with emotions, who don't know what these things mean, and who are very surprised when all of a sudden an emotion comes up within them and they don't know what it is and how to deal with it, and all that. But if you listen to your emotional intuition, okay, it will basically lead you down the right path. This is useful for people who second guess themselves, who aren't sure if the decisions that they're making are actually good for them or not. This is useful for those who would like some clarity in regards to what it is that they need to be doing next, and so on and so forth. And so what I would like to mention is that as much as these times have tried to dissuade us from listening to our intuition and being in touch with them, the actual fact is the more we do listen to them and the more we are in tune to them, the clearer the messages will be, and the clearer our next steps will be from our higher selves. And so this, you can kind of take this as a sign from the higher ups or the elite to try and keep us stuck, not really knowing how we as individuals operate so that we can live the best life that we want to live, right? But that is okay. Generally, these things don't come naturally, so it's normal, right? And we have so many years of backlog of so many people who say the contrary, that we no longer know what to believe in. So, my gorgeous triple tears, this is all that I have for you guys tonight for this video series. If you like this, and if you'd like me to go deeper into your specific situation, please contact me at the email in the box below, and it'll be my pleasure to assist. In that same box, you'll find a little description of this video and the email you can send donations to on PayPal if you feel so called. And with that being said, my gorgeous triple tears, I wish you guys all a very good week, and I will see you tomorrow, okay? Bye.